What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. So as you guys can tell, I'm no longer, or at the moment, I'm not in my garage. I'm actually in my work in progress home studio slash jam room. For those of you guys that are interested in knowing, I've been a musician a lot longer than I have been tinkering around getting into car stuff. I've been a musician for over 10 years now, close to 13 to 14 years. I primarily play guitar. I play bass, a little bit of keys. I can program drums, program synths. I'm starting to dive into the world of vocals for like screaming death metal kind of vocal style. And I'm involved in two projects right now, one being a death metal band and another one being my own solo project, being more of a progressive death metal sounding genre. I'll leave links in the description below for you guys to check that out if you guys are interested in checking that sort of music out. I mean, there's no shows at the moment, and the more I keep finding out, tours being canceled in 2021. So if you guys want more music or whatnot, hopefully you guys will dig some of the stuff that I'm involved with. I feel weird self-promoting, but you know, it is what it is, guys. So hopefully I don't come off sounding kind of conceited or jaded at that point. But anyway, if you guys want any ideas of type of bands, influences of stuff I'm into, here's a cool idea. Here's my small little home recording studio setup I got, which I also edit all the Asian Garage videos on. And yeah, so there you have it. So now on to some unfortunate but unsurprising news. Okay, so here's the bad news. Nobody right now makes any headers for the A20 engine. Like, there's no OBX headers on eBay. If you go on the OBX website, you can type in Accord. Every Accord part number headers they make, they don't even come up for the 84 to 89 Accord / Prelude. I can't find them anywhere. So OBX, to my knowledge right now, I don't know if when this took place. I'm sure it's been a couple months ago. They definitely were in stock when I made the video of what performance parts were available for the A20. So maybe whoever watched that video probably already bought those headers, and that was that. So no more OBX headers, definitely no more pace setter headers. So, and those were pretty much like the longest lasting aftermarket companies that made headers or exhaust manifolds for the A20 engine. So that being said, I'm not really tripping out about it personally myself. I never liked the OBX design. I'm not really a big fan of the 401 design either. If you guys have done research of 401 versus 421 design, you guys can figure it out for yourself, especially what kind of a build you were pursuing. So, a couple options here. Anybody that's ever personally asked me, whether it be through DMs or whatnot, or private messages, that asked me what are some, what bolt-ons do you recommend for the A20? I mean, any bolt-ons for the A20 really isn't going to do any significant amount of change in horsepower. Like, same could be said with a lot of other engine platforms that you throw on just bolt-ons, especially in regards to Honda stuff. I would always tell them, at bare minimum, you guys can, do the whole cold air intake or short ram. I recommend cold air, just so if you want to go short ram or do a custom pipe routing or whatever, you have extra pipe that you can cut apart wherever you want, add couplings and so on and so forth. You get a short ram, you're kind of stuck with what you got. That and custom exhaust piping, 93 Accord, so the CB7 4th generation Accord, catback exhausts, like stuff you see from like Yonaka Motorsports. From what I hear, they bolt on to our chassis with minimal modifications. I haven't done one myself. I don't know what kind of modifications you have to do, but from what I hear, it doesn't seem too difficult. But I would just recommend, if you know a welder, if you know a cool muffler shop, whatnot, you can have somebody weld you a custom exhaust pipe, no problem. That, and if anybody that owned 86 or 87 year Accords, no matter what trim, all of those came with 401 design headers. I always recommend them. If you guys can go to Junkyard or know somebody that has the 88 through 89, get the 421 headers. That's what I personally recommend. OEM 421 headers, cold air intake. If are you going to gain horsepower numbers, torque numbers? I have no idea. I can't guarantee you that. But if you're going to spend money on bolt-ons, that's where I would start. Then obviously next step would be like B16 intake manifold change, and then OBD1, so on and so forth. So I don't want to make this video too long. So now that no aftermarket company headers are an option right now as I film this, here's some options I'm going to throw down for you guys. If you are 86 or 87, I recommend you guys try to source out an 88 through 89 421 OEM A20 A1 or A3. I'm pretty sure the A3s 88 through 89, I don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure they were the only ones that came 421 as well as the SEIs. I could be wrong. There could be some the carb models could have also gotten the 421 design in 88 through 89, so don't quote me on that. I recommend doing that if you don't have that. Second thing, and the best option that would even triumph over the aftermarket headers that used to exist for the A20 engine, go custom. Try to find a fabricator, hit a muffler shop, or at least talk to them, see what you can do. If you have your stock OEM exhaust manifold, and you find somebody competent enough, they can probably make you at least get the flange design. If they can make you a quick flange design, if you want to do some more footwork, hit up a custom tube shop, or sorry, a custom exhaust shop. See what they can do for you. There's a lot of websites that make a lot of custom pipe kits, like header kits and stuff like that. And as long as you have the A20 flange, you can do honestly whatever you want. If you can weld, or if you know of a competent welder, there goes, there's some more possibilities. Now, another option that you can consider, I'm not condoning this because I haven't known any single Accord owner or Prelude owner with the A20 to ever have done this, but in my search for looking for actually a turbo manifold, a custom turbo manifold, I was trying to figure out what Hondas, and even outside of Hondas, shared the same exhaust flange design. What I mean by that, I actually have the A20 OEM exhaust flange. So if you notice, if you guys look at the modern Honda or the newer, I guess 90s on up header design, you notice they're usually pretty much all equally spaced. This is one of those rare exhaust flange patterns where it's two in the middle or closer together, and then the outer are further apart. Now, in my research, in my time looking to see any other Honda engine, and even outside of Honda, that four-cylinder that shared the same exhaust flange design, I came across almost like nothing that shares that design. So I actually came across something, and it's funny how I actually came across it. I came across it on a custom header, custom turbo manifold kit. I can't remember the site. It was like late at night. I was just Googling stuff right before I went to going to sleep. And surprisingly enough, I found a exhaust flange that was really close to the A20 exhaust flange pattern. And it kind of blew my mind what it was. Same exhaust flange as my dream Honda that I hope to one day own, to this. This is a Honda S2000 exhaust flange manifold. Sorry, gasket. Well, this gasket, but this is the flange pattern. So give you guys comparison. Now I'll put them up together so you guys can see this. Okay, so close but no cigar. I mean, definitely like. So anyway, this is what I'm trying to say. Out of everything that I found that was similar to the A20 exhaust flange design, sorry, I'm tripping over words here. The S2000 was the closest that I found. So that being said, I thought, okay, if I had the A20 flange fabricated or made, of course I can just get a kit, have it welded up, but then I started thinking, all right, well then there's going to be a lot of R&D in that too, because then we're going to have to figure out, how much pipe can we use, how big a pipe can we use, what obstacles you have to get, in between, especially since our cars have to involve with the front cross member, what can we work with? So I looked into the S2000 aftermarket headers and was kind of thinking like, I mean, it's kind of impractical, but anybody that's going for like an all-out NA build, theoretically they could get a custom-made A20 flange, or if they had an OBX, just cut the flange off, clean it up a bit, get an S2000 aftermarket header, cut that flange off, maybe cut a little bit of the piping and or whatnot. I'm not a fabricator, so this is all just theoretical coming from my head. And then actually weld on the S2000 pipes onto the flange. And since we all know, or hopefully we all do know, that the F20C out of the S2000 is a rear-wheel drive engine, that it would actually go out kind of similar to like how a K20 exhaust manifold would go. If you guys think about it, it would be like a flipped K20 design. It would be going out to the side towards passenger side if you have a USDM, or driver side if you have JDM or EDM. Anyway, and looking at it, you know, a lot of them start to tend to turn down to the side of the car right around the same where the block is, which, you know, theoretically I was thinking again, maybe it would go long enough and it would fit, you know, right to where it would interfere with the lower cross member. Now, that being said, will it interfere with like cooling fans, hoses? I don't know yet, but just looking at it, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a possibility. Maybe just get a hole saw, you know, figure out where we can do an exit, almost like a fender exit, or maybe just like right there in the wheel well. I don't know. Just giving possibilities out there. And for the turbo manifold route, they actually make ram horn style turbo manifolds for the S2000, which they sit almost pretty much like traditional, like B series. Yeah, like B series pretty much. They look exactly the same. If you just took F20C with a ram horn turbo manifold, if you were just flip that engine like a front wheel drive, it would look like just like a B series. So as I said, and again, like the flanges are very similar in design. Obviously the F20C is going to be a lot bigger than the A20s, and definitely a little bit more awkward. You know, the bolt patterns definitely aren't the same, but as I said, you have A20 platform. This is the closest one. You know, if you have a competent fabricator, maybe you guys can get something done. I don't know. If anyone does it first, hit me up, send me pics or whatever, or make a video on it, and, you know, maybe we get something going there. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much all I got. So thanks for watching. I hope all this stuff that I brought up hopefully like lit up some light bulbs up there, maybe gave you guys some ideas. Hopefully we get another company that'll actually make aftermarket headers for the A20. Who knows? So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.